Hello, book besties. Welcome to another episode of Nadia's Bookish World. I am Nadia. Welcome. On today's episode, we are talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is none other than book boyfriends. So, when you think about a book boyfriend, we have those fictional characters that we fall in love with that are either alpha male, they are caring, they will, take care of you, they will listen to you, they will fight for you, they will defend your honor, right? And then, of course, they have to be handsome, they have to be smart, intelligent, know how to handle business, all sorts of attributes that are a recipe for the perfect book boyfriend, okay? So I looked at my Goodreads and all of the books that I, read over the last couple years and just sort of what were my favorite book boyfriends. And with yesterday being Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day, everyone, I thought about those book boyfriends that are just the absolute quintessential perfect man, right? So let's go down the list and let me know in the comments if you like some of the ones that I've chosen or which ones that you would add to your list. So the first book boyfriend that we have is Snow King. From Snow King Catches His Snowflake by A.E. Valdez. So if you've read this book I read in December, and this book, you have a Black billionaire, which already check, right? He is on holiday, like he's on a vacation for the Christmas season, and he has to share a cabin with Noelle Frost, right? So the premise is, after being in a relationship for 3 years, Noelle Frost is faced with the reality that she was definitely the better half. Her friends, ecstatic she's dropped the dead weight of a cheating boyfriend, urge her to get away for the holiday. But she is stuck in a rut. Snow King is stuck as well, believing himself undeserving of joy, pleasure after suffering more than one devastating loss, one he still shoulders the blame for. So, in true romantic book fashion, these two are overbooked for the Christmas season. They have a nasty run-in with pepper spray. It's a Christmas story where it's close proximity. You have Noelle, you have Noelle and you have Snow King. And Snow King, if you've read this book, you know how great Snow King is, right? He is that alpha male. He is going to challenge you, but he's also going to take care of you. Excuse me, I have hiccups. He's also going to challenge you. And he's also going to make sure that you're having a good time when you're in his presence. This perfect book boyfriend. So if you have read the Snow King Catches the Snowflake, you understand. You understand. Book boyfriend number 2 is going to be none other than Porter from The Build-Up. So The Build-Up comes out March 28th. This is The Build-Up by Tati Richardson. Y'all, I think I have talked about Porter so much already. And if you've seen my Instagram videos, if you've seen my TikTok videos, you know how much I adore Porter. I absolutely adore him, right? And so you have R.A. James and you have Porter. I don't even remember his last name. It doesn't matter. You know what? Porter, yeah, it doesn't matter. Just remember the name Porter, okay? Just remember the name Porter. And so you have these two black architects who are in close proximity with each other. And Porter is that guy that he is college educated, he is a professional, he is rich beyond belief. But he's also like a very down to earth guy, right? And he will romanticize you and just do nice gestures for you. You like a nice guy, right? Porter is that guy. He's the guy that will make you laugh. He will encourage you to work hard. He will be the perfect gentleman. Porter is that quintessential nice guy, but not without being a pushover, if that makes sense. He's strong, he's sweet, he's intelligent, he's a hard worker, he's a team player. He does not mind taking a supportive role, if that makes sense. He does not mind being supportive of the woman that he loves, right? And so just be on the lookout. This comes out next month. Porter will become your favorite book boyfriend, because as I was reading it, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this Porter James, or not Porter James, I don't remember his last name, but Porter. And I'm going to put the description that she put up in the book of describing of how Porter is. And y'all, incredible. Okay, so book boyfriend number 3. If, once again, A.E. Valdez, All I've Wanted, All I've Needed, we have Ace. And Ace is a tattoo artist, and he becomes friends with Sunshine, or aka Harlow. Becomes friends with Sunshine when she moves to town, and he is a bit of a grump. They have the interaction, they have the grumpy Sunshine. He's a bit of a grump, but he's been through a lot. But he's absolutely, once you get to know him, he's easygoing. He's super sweet. He doesn't really let much bother him, but he will absolutely have your back when needed. He's someone that's very easy to talk to. He's very creative. He will motivate you. Yeah. That you definitely, if you have not read All I've Wanted, All I've Needed by A.E. Valdez, please put that on your list and add Ace to your book boyfriend list, okay? Next, we have, I'm really, I think, obsessed with Evelyn Sola's writing. I really believe that I am, right? And so you have a billionaire who is the most down-to-earth billionaire you could possibly imagine, right? And so you have Adam and you have Melly. And so Adam he's not a jerk, but he has like jerkish ways if you push him to it, but Adam is very sweet. He's very unassuming. He literally will try his hardest, try his best, put 110% into the relationship. He's that good friend. He is such a sweetheart. He's so adorable. He really is adorable. When I say he's a sweetheart and a jerk, both at the same time. Yes. Because he is so invested in his relationship with Melly. And if you read the book, you see that he is that sweetheart of a guy. He was raised by a single mother. And so he has such a value of hard work, and he's very unentitled, right? He doesn't really want anything handed to him. He's worked for everything that he could possibly have, And so everything that he has earned, he has literally earned, right? But he's hardworking, he's supportive, he's sweet, he's gentle, he will romance you, he will be supportive, he will talk to you, he will listen to you, you're gonna have fun with him. Read The Takedown. Please read The Takedown, which is book 2 in the Take series by Evelyn Zola. Definitely add him as your book boyfriend, please. It's a must. You must do it. And another book boyfriend. Now, everyone who knows me knows that I love Brittany Cherry, right? I love Brittany Cherry. And Aiden from Northern Stars. The book shows the timeline of this friendship. You know, these two have known each other since they were kids, and just sort of the trajectory of their relationship, the growth, the ups, the downs. And Aiden is he has a lot of issues in his life, right? He has a very demanding family, particularly from his father. Very demanding family, so he has a lot of pressure on him from his family. But he is the most, the best friend that you want to have, right? The most supportive, loyal best friend that you want to have. And he is, once he falls hard, right? And so you're gonna have a friend. You're gonna have a friend in Aiden, right? He may break your heart a little bit, but you're gonna have a friend in him, right? And so I adore Aiden so much. And it says Hollywood's biggest star first belonged to me, right? So he's a Hollywood star. He's a bit of a heartbreaker. He's cute and he knows it, but he's that loyal friend that will love you and care for you. Adore him, right? Let's move on to Naima Simone's Billionaires of Boston. And I couldn't just pick one of the billionaires of Boston. I couldn't. So let's start with Nico. And if you've read Black Sheep Bargain, Nico he's the outsider of the group, and Nico has a chip on his shoulder. He has some anger. He has some confusion going on. He has a lot going on, right? He comes off as jerkish. He really does. And I think the way that Naima writes, I think every bit of her male characters has a bit of a jerk in him, which we kind of love in a book boyfriend, right? I don't know why, but we do. But Nico has a chip on his shoulder, but it is absolutely, he has every right to, right? And so he's on a hunt to find some answers about his family. But once he falls hard. And he actually is a sweetheart. And he is very unassuming. You don't know what you're going to get from him, but you know that it's going to be worth it. Whatever you get from him, he's going to give 110%, right? So put Nico from Black Sheep Bargain on your list as a book boyfriend, because you will fall in love with him over and over and over again. Guarantee it. Let's go to the next brother in the Billionaires of Boston series by Naima Simone. And, Achilles is, he's a software engineer, he's a software CEO, and he's working hard with this family. He's very talented. He has a lot going on. He grew up different than his brothers. He grew up very, very differently. And so he is, when you see the physical of Achilles, you see sort of like a rough, he has sort of like a rough demeanor about him, right? And so you really are kind of, people may be a little bit standoffish at first when they see Achilles, but once you get to know Achilles, it's so worth it. It's really worth it, right? And so as I'm reading the book, I'm loving Achilles more and more. You see why he is the way that he is, and you fall in love with him. You fall in love with his vulnerability, with his tough exterior, with you understand why he may come off as harsh sometimes, but it makes you love him because he is not harsh for no reason. He has a reason. And so you just love that. And once the layers are, starting to be peeled apart, Achilles. Just remember, it's called Secrets of a One Night Stand. So it's the one of the books in the Billionaire series. Love them, love them, love them, love them. And then you have Cain. And Cain is, when you first meet Cain, he is mourning over the father that raised him, and he's angry with the world, he's confused, he has a lot to process. And so when you meet Cain, everyone sees Cain as this trust fund kid. They see him as this kid who is supposed to take over his father's business. And you think you know Cain. You think you know what he's about, but really Cain is very unpredictable, so easy to fall in love with because what you see on the outside is completely different than what is on the inside. And I love that. I love when you have the male characters, the book boyfriends, that they appear one way on the outside and then they're completely different on the inside. And with Cain, you have rich boy syndrome. You have, like this air that he's really, he may have a little cockiness to him, but that's at his core. He just wants to fall in love. He just wants to, not be in the spotlight as much as he is. And it's worth getting to know him. He has there's so much more than meets the eye. So much more than meets the eye. And then you have Kenan. And Kenan comes from The Perfect Fake Date, which is book 3 in the Billionaires of Boston series. And so Kenan is that best friend. He's that best friend that, secretly loves you, and he's going to be supportive of you, and he's going to go everywhere you go. But when he's hurt, he is hurt to his core. And what I love about Kenan is that he is, once again, Naima has a way of writing for the underdogs, writing the underdog characters. And Kenan is the perfect example of that underdog character where you think you know him. You think you know what he's capable of, but you really have no idea. You have no idea. And it's so easy to fall in love with him. It's really, truly is easy to fall in love with all of these brothers, whether you think you know them or not. And once you read whatever book you start off with, I read it in order because I wanted to get the full effect of each brother's story. And you just kind of see each brother's confidence growing. You see their heart and their vulnerability. You see what they're capable of. You see those walls being torn down. You see their ability to love, their ability to trust, their ability to be a part of a family that they didn't even know that they were capable of having. And so I love the brotherhood that you see. You see the different sides of all of these brothers. And the fact that they're billionaires kind of makes a difference, but not really, because money cannot buy you the happiness that you want, the love that you want. And you see that in each of these characters, right? Next, we have King. We have King from Lessons in Corruption by Gianna Darling. And if you've read the Fallen Men series, you know all about King. So when we meet King, he is 18 years old. He's in high school. And he is this biker. He's part of the MC. And he is the son of the president of this motorcycle club. And it's very Sons of Anarchy. You know, man. King. Just he is the cute eye, like the cute faced, blue-eyed, blonde hair, just gorgeous biker. And he's a student, and he's a dreamer. He's a dreamer. He's a hopeless romantic, but he's very tough. He will definitely fight for the person that he loves. He and Cressida's relationship I adore so much. And King, King can be the love of your life. He can be your little brother. He can be, King that has so many dimensions to him. And that's what makes him so great. So once you read the Fallen Men series by Gianna Darling, starting with Lessons in Corruption, which is the first book, the way that she describes King is poetic, is beautiful, is artistic, and incredible. Next, you have, everyone knows that I love Nana Malone, right? And so it's very hard to just pick one book boyfriend from her books. But we have Bridge, who is part of the elite. So you get his books in the Broken Bridge, Speak No Evil trilogy. And Bridge is, you're going to get a lot. This is an action-packed series. And you're going to get a lot of drama, a lot of danger, a lot of smart comebacks. You're going to get witty banter. And Bridge is he's tough, but he's very protective. He's very protective. And that's another thing that I want that's sort of a blanketed attribute for all of these men. They are very protective of the ones that they love. And so he's going to fight for you. Bridge is going to, talk back to you if, you come at him sideways. He's going to never give you a dull moment. You're always going to be entertained. You're always going to be flying by the seat of your pants. But you're also going to feel protected. And you're going to feel loved. And you're going to know that you're loved. It may not happen as quickly as you want it to, but once you're swept off your feet, you're going to be swept off your feet. And so if you read this trilogy, Bridge from the elite, this is an operative position where he's constantly, I don't want to say on the run, but he's constantly in combat. He's constantly investigating and having to help other people. And Bridge is that guy that kind of pulls everything together, like pulls the group together, if you will. And I absolutely love this series. And like I said, it was hard to just pick one guy from that series, just one of Nana Malone's male main characters. But Bridge happens to be definitely one of my favorites. And so the next book boyfriend is Hayes from The Legacy by Dylan Allen. And so once again, you have a billionaire. And the synopsis, it says he just won control of his legacy. Loving her could cost him everything. Billionaire Hayes Rivers comes into my life like a hurricane, heir to an oil empire. He's controlling, and I craved every touch. Like Hayes River. First of all, he has this Southern empire. He is a billionaire. He has a lot of scars from his childhood. And so it's kind of difficult for him to fall in love. But once he does, you are completely swept off of your feet. And from page 1 all the way into the end, you just fall deeper and deeper in love with Hayes. Like, listen. So put this on your list, The Legacy by Dylan Allen. You're going to fall in love, and you're going to thank me later. You're welcome. You're welcome. The next book, Boyfriend, is, once again, we're coming back to Brittany Cherry's world of Western ways, and you have Damian Blackstone. When I first of all, the cover. Look at the cover. Look at this cover. Gorgeous, right? And so when I first read this book and the detail of Damian, the first encounter between Damian and the main female character is they meet in a coffee shop, and he takes her very last pastry and coffee that she always orders, and he's a big jerk about it, and he's jerk major. Like, he really is such a jerk. And so they go on this journey of marriage of convenience, fake dating type thing, and the way that he just falls in love. It's so great when you have an entitled guy, someone with wealth, entitlement. They think they know everything. They're constantly running and ruling all other areas of their life, and then they fall in love. And it's, they only fall for the one girl, and she captures his heart. Like, he just crumbles. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And to watch Damian fall in love is so sweet. It's amazing. You're not going to get tired of it. The next book, Boyfriend, I just finished this not too long ago, is The Fine Print, which is part of the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. And Rowan, you get each of the stories of the brothers in this series. And so you have, the first story is Rowan. And so his grandfather passes away, and they give each of them a task to do. And so Rowan has to be in charge of the family's, park. It's kind of like a Disneyland kind of, it's a theme park. And so he is that typical grumpy grump of a boss. And when you think of theme park, you think it's going to be somebody with a lot of joy and a lot of happiness, and they're easy to get along with. Rowan is not that guy. He's not that guy. He always has a frown on his face. He's very unapproachable, and he is used to snapping his fingers and people come running. People are kind of scared of him. But once he meets Zara, it's all over, because Zara gives him something that no one else does, and that is, she's not afraid to combat what he's saying. She's not afraid to challenge him, and he's used to everyone just saying yes to him, and Zara's just like, that's not going to happen here, right? And so Rowan sort of is in for the ride of his life, and he is up for a new area in his life that he did not expect. And you see the different dimensions, the different layers of this character. And I just absolutely loved him, absolutely fell in love with him. He absolutely became one of my favorite book boyfriends thus far, which leads me to my next book boyfriend, which is Cal from Unconditional by QB Tyler. So, read the trigger warnings of all of these books. This is an age gap, and you have Cal, who is the local cop who, falls in love with someone who's much younger than he is. And what I love about Cal and why I put him as one of my favorite book boyfriends is the story is controversial, but it's Cal's position of being a protector and being sort of that caring, loving boyfriend is what I loved most about him. He was ready to fight. He was ready to protect at any given moment. And he just wanted that companionship. And so, once again, search up the trigger warnings, but Unconditional Cal, he was great. He was absolutely great. The next book boyfriend, and once again, this book is sort of you either love it or you hate it, right? And it is none other than The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas and Aaron. Aaron is that he's a bit of a jerk. And this is a work relationship, fake dating, kind of, you do me a favor, I do you a favor type thing. And at first, I thought, when I was first reading the book, I thought, okay, this is just a grump that I'm probably not going to like him. He's absolutely a jerk, and he's going to feel entitled, and he's going to have some snarky remarks. But I ended up loving him and absolutely just falling in love with Aaron. And like I said, this is like a work, fake dating type trope. And so you either love it or you hate it. And Aaron was very sweet. He was very, the banter between the two characters was very interesting. It was funny at times. It was emotional at times. It was weird at times. But I absolutely loved him because he was literally doing her a favor. She was doing him a favor, and they just ended up in close proximity. And when you're in close proximity like that with someone, you either are going to fight like cats and dogs or you're going to fall in love, right? And so just to see the buildup of Aaron and I think it's Elena, I think that's the character's Catalina. Just to see the relationship between the two was so sweet. It was so funny. Spanish Love Deception. I enjoyed it. I know it's sometimes this book is not for everyone. You either love it or you hate it, but I absolutely fell in love with it, and their relationship was beautiful. Absolutely adorable. The last two book boyfriends, this comes as no surprise. The Songbook of Benny Lament by Amy Harmon. Benny Lament, this is 1960s New York. I listened to the audio and I read the book. You have this guy who is in an interracial relationship, and he's not a jerk at all. You have a musician. He comes from a mafia sort of family, but he doesn't want to be a part of that life. He has dreams of being a musician. He's great at what he does. He works hard. He is making business deals. So he's making, a life for Esther and her brothers. He's breaking down barriers, not only racial barriers, but musical barriers. I absolutely loved Benny lament so much because he loved so hard. He loved Esther hard. He loved his dad hard. He loved the people around him. He was working hard to make things happen, to not only make a name for themselves, but to ensure that they are secure, that they'll be able to live, right? How can you not love a guy like that who's out here working hard every single day, making deals, making life happen, and making sure that not only himself, but the people around him are taken care of. So Benny Lament, perfection, perfection. And then the last book boyfriend is, if you go to The Princess Bride by J.J. McAvoy, you have a prince. And need I say more? Like, you just have a prince. And Prince Gale, I mean, when I read this book, I just thought of Meghan and Harry. I did. I thought of Meghan and Harry. Prince Gale, he is very set in his ways, but he is falling in love with Odette, where they have to get married, and they have to get to know each other. And so you see each of these two characters that are set in their ways, but they have to learn about each other. They have to learn about each other. They have to learn to live together. They have to grow accustomed to each other's customs and lifestyles and what they like, what they don't like. And so you see this prince who has a lot of family responsibility, a lot of family obligation, falling in love, and also paying duty to his country and paying duty to his family, his wife, loving her, taking care of her, getting to know her. But when they bump heads, they bump heads. And when they love hard. And so Prince Gale, read the entire series. Don't just pick up one or two. Read all 3 books. They're so worth it. You're gonna fall in love. You're gonna be swept off your feet. So these are all of my book boyfriends. Do you see any that you like? Which ones would you add? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend. And let me know what you would want to talk about in the next episode. Any titles that you want me to talk about, any tropes you want me to talk about, any characters you want me to talk about, let me know. Let me know. Comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching. This is Nadia's Bookish World. Until next time, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Love you. Thank you so much.